with the mysterious drones that are plaguing New Jersey and other places in America right now. Watch this.
Hey everyone, my name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be.
Okay, before we go deeper, just want to set the context of what we've got here. I wanted to find out if there are any experts, what they think in this situation with the drones flying over New Jersey. I've done a video about that. Go to the channel playlist for the live videos, and I've got that there. I will also clip that as well. This is a drone expert, and the drone expert is explaining, and it's a CEO of a company that manufactures drones, and its name is John Ferguson, CEO, as you heard there, of Saxon Aerospace. So on Professor Nez, we got the drone expert, John Ferguson, CEO of Saxon Aerospace, a manufacturer of manned drones. He gives his assessment of the mysterious drones plaguing New Jersey and other places in America right now.
Wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody. So, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program. And there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay? We don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that come up missing here in the United States, and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys.
Yep, common
or
sense.
Looking for...
I said that on my live. I didn't look at any expert resources. It's just first principles thinking. Why would a drone be flying at night? Obviously, it would be for that. You could be doing it for testing, but this is not how you do testing. You don't do testing to alarm the public.
a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an aircraft, an unmanned aircraft at night, is if you're looking for something, whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. We have methane.
I would change that to, this is a long shot, but I think, so he's talking about reconnaissance, looking for something. There's different ways that a drone could be looking for something at night. Part of it is you want to hide the drones. You don't want people to be able to see them and take good video of them. But I think the other part that he's missing is they could be escorting or distracting, but I would think more escorting something incoming, meaning one of the drones could be something special. You don't know which one is, and the rest of them are distractions or escorting them. Those are the things that he's talking about and I'm talking about cover 90% of the possibilities of what these things are.
Gas detection systems that can detect gas leaks in pipelines. You really wouldn't use thermal optics for trying to find gas leaks, just simply because the only way you're actually going to find a gas leak with thermal optics is if the gas leak is aggressive enough that it has a difference in temperature, because thermal imaging, it creates a digital image based off of the temperature variance. So whatever is different in temperature, it creates an image. Usually gas leaks so slow that it goes quickly into ambient before you can even see it. So we have special sensors that can detect gas leaks. We also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. So with this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead.
So he's basically intimating that he thinks it could be looking for something radioactive. I've been saying that it feels like there's a 9/11 situation here. It's obviously different because there's a lead up to it, but you're blaming Iran already. There's a congressman in New Jersey. The government said he's not telling the truth, but Iran's name has come out of a representative's mouth, and we're close to New York, where if you're going to do something, we obviously don't want anything bad to happen. If somebody's going to try to do something bad in America, they're not going to do it in Kearney, Nebraska. You could go and do something in Kearney, Nebraska, our enemy of this country, and no one would care. I hate to say that, but that's just the truth. You go to any of these rural areas in this country, no one would care outside of the rural areas. No one. They would go on with the rest of the day of lives like it was nothing. You couldn't do a 9/11 in New York, in Kearney, Nebraska. No one would care. So you're looking at New Jersey. They're very close to New York, which is the true capital of our world. Washington, D.C. is just a place where the politicians work, where the capital is, the money, the representative capital of our country is New York, and these things are right by New York.
None of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone.
I'm not saying this is definitive, but it is something to talk about. This makes sense. This theory makes sense. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but the level of seriousness where we are with this, that makes a lot of sense. Because if this was in the news, the government's obviously lying about the drones and stuff. I broke it down, Alejandro Mayorkas, how he lied on CNN with Wolf Blitzer. Wolf Blitzer is in on it. I'm not even doing allegedly. They lied to our faces. They're not technically lying. They're trying to be very coy with their words. Wolf Blitzer was obviously, and then he didn't press Alejandro Mayorkas a corrupt Jay who's in charge of our homeland security. Nothing's more disgusting than that. This makes sense. If this is what it happened, we are in multiple proxy issues all over the world. We all know, everyone knows the U.S. did that thing where 3 of the oil pipelines over there from Europe to Russia got exploded. We all know America did that. And we're in proxy wars all over the place. Syria just went down. Who was involved with that? All the way up until probably 2018, we know America was involved in trying to get Syria overturned for that funny hat country over there about the size of New Jersey. All of this stuff is happening, and there's been no repercussions at this point. At some point, the borders are open. At some point, it's coming.
So my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground.
Yep.
That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air.
There's no other logical. Well, I said I would like to talk to him and say it could be escorting. I don't know what their flight pattern is, but that's a possibility too. But what he's saying is a way bigger possibility. Well, he's saying that they're flying low because they're basically, don't even think about the worst case scenario. I'm not trying to scare anybody on this. We're just trying to do first principle thinking with no emotion. There's no other reason you would have a drone other than looking for something at night. Why wouldn't you do it in the day? Because it'd be very obvious. You could see it. You can't hide it. And you have to avoid panic. Because if everyone knew that was the case, then everyone would be evacuating from those areas.
To piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground. Gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever. So, and do I think that that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life.
Yep.
They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric, but those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multi-copter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back.
Yep.
It's just physics will not allow that to happen. Mm-hmm. So these drones, I believe, are launched from
But just to be clear, that's not the fixed wing ones, and we've seen ones that some people are saying they're really airplanes, and I don't know, but if there are fixed wing drones, those by themselves can be used as projectiles, so it's not 100% not nefarious, but they can fly longer. They're not because the other ones are like helicopters. They're stationary, takes a lot of battery power. But here's the other thing. I would ask him, they're saying that there's no heat signature. At least the police on the ground are saying that. So it can't be the battery, it can't be the gas, it can't be the battery-powered copters, if that's the case. Because you get a heat signature.
And a location that nobody knows. But I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So, again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks, directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional, we build professional stuff for the military. I believe that they're actually out there trying to smell something that's very important. So anyway, let me know what you think of this video. I'm not trying to gaslight. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just trying to let people know that this is a serious deal.
Yep.
It's only serious for what the potential could be, or for what the potential is.
No.
There's a lot of them out there.
Let me take over now, bro.
They're flying all over. They're flying low. They're flying at night. There's no reason for
That's why we need each other. Let me take over now, bruh. This is just to reiterate. This is the CEO, John Ferguson. Let me just take a look at the comments here. It's John Ferguson, CEO of Saxton Aerospace, a manufacturer of manned drones. I appreciate your information. This is no beef to him. Let me take over now, because now you're in the lane you don't know. The biggest problem here is it's a very simple question that we've been lied to, and we don't have the political leverage to force an answer. I don't care if it's a rich dude. I don't care if it's like some rich dude's son playing with drones. We need to get the answer, and that means it wouldn't really be a threat. We need to be able to get the answer. The biggest problem is that we have no leverage to have the people who work for us to tell us the truth. That's the big problem. You tell me about the drones, I'll help you out with the political part.
it other than to smell something. So anyway, God bless. I hope you all have a wonderful Merry Christmas.
That's subject matter expert again, John Saxon, CEO of a aerospace company that actually has contracts with the military. I don't know if you could trust anybody more than that guy. I would love to get your thoughts on what he said, what his assessment was. Was I the only one who was like, they can smell? I was like, well, I didn't know drones could smell.
He doesn't literally mean smell.
I do think that there's been a lot of conjecture, a lot of skepticism, a lot of question marks, but there's also been, I think, a lot of substantive assessments saying that this is definitely something that is our own government. Otherwise, how in the world could they deny this? I talked about this on the stream last night. John Kirby, the ridiculous rear admiral. This guy was a rear admiral who essentially was just saying, we don't know anything. We don't know what the hell's going on, but we don't think it's bad. Well, it reeks of everything the Biden-Harris administration failed to do for the last 4 dark years. It reeks of their hypocriticalness. I call them the Hippocrats. It reeks of their dishonesty, and it smacks of why the mandate happened on November 5th. And we, the American people, have spoken. By the way, if you want to get this,
I
100%.
agree completely. You can support, I'm going to be out here. This is Professor Nez. And I don't know if he does copyright or not, but either way, so support people who are out here trying to do stuff outside the mainstream. I can't wait to see how the mainstream is going to try to jump into the space that we're in. They're not getting any views. They're very concerned about it, and they want to jump in. They don't know how. I would say just start by telling the truth. How about that? That might be a good idea. If you start telling the truth, maybe things will go better for you. Let me know. This is an Aftershow Carnage. We're going to do a lot of Aftershow Carnages even on the Middle MAGA channel. This is Aftershow Carnage via Middle MAGA. I do have another YouTube channel called Aftershow Carnage. It's really more for react to just basically grifting off of somebody else's name, like a Tim Pool or Anna Kasparian, or I like Francesca Fiorentini, Stephen A. Smith, name them, David Packman. We can have some fun. We can talk. They have good shows. Nothing against those people, but they can eat, and then we can eat off of them eating. Let me know what you think. This is Aftershow Carnage.
According to Engadget, these buzzing metal spies are stirring up more paranoia than a late-night alien flick. Are they future sky sentinels, or just mechanical pests waiting to crash your backyard party? Buzz off in our Discord, or drop your smackdown in the comments. This is Aftershow Carnage.